Hi guys, and welcome to our ultimate review of the Microsoft Surface 2. The Surface 2 is Microsoft's latest iteration in their Surface line of tablets. They've packed it with a lot of cool new features, from a Tegra 4 processor to a 1080 display, and of course with running Windows 8.1. So let's jump in and find out how well the Surface 2 really handles. Let's take a look at some of the other hardware specs of the Surface 2. We do know it supports a 10.6 clear type display, which is quite vibrant, and it's also got a front-facing camera, which is at 3.5 megapixels, which goes a long way in helping out with video calls and doing some of those Skype duties on your Surface. You do have a USB 3.0 port, which is very nice now, and also that is your proprietary power port. On the top is the power button. And on the left hand side you do have your volume rocker, your headphone jack, and two speakers on the side. That of course is where you open up your kickstand, which is dual layered, and we'll show that in a sec. And you've got micro SD expansion to 64 gigabytes. Now, looking at the kickstand there quickly, it does have two layers, which helps out a lot while typing on your lap, and it's something we'll get to later in the video. But the front-facing camera here, again, as I mentioned, 3.5 megapixels, really helps in capturing good video in low light conditions for you. So it goes a long way in helping you record or talk to people on Skype, even in the poorest lighting conditions. So that's very nice to see they added that there with the Surface 2. So looking at some of the accessories for the Surface 2, which is of course the Type Cover 2 keyboard and the Touch Cover 2 keyboard, they've improved them by making them more rigid, and also they are backlit keyboards. Of course, they connect the same way as you expect through the proprietary connector. Much thinner, much lighter, and looking at the touch cover keyboard there, it's actually thinner than the original, which is quite impossible to imagine, but it's got a better profiles. The keys work out much better in typing and recognizing your keystrokes, and also just looks very flush in your Surface. So it doesn't add that much weight to it. It actually almost adds minimal weight to your device. But you know, as you know, with the Surface, the keyboard is very keen, just giving you a very solid experience. The Touch Cover 2 keyboard retails for $129, and Type Cover 2 keyboard retails for $119, and you can just see the difference there, laying them side by side. They're very thin, very low profile, but I think they are quite essential to giving you a full Surface experience here. But now let's take a look at using the Surface with the kickstand and with a very natural position here. We know the Surface is powered by a quad-core processor, Tegra 4 processor, and it's got 2 gigabytes of RAM. But really, this allows you to do a lot of functions like jumping to Office Suite and do some typing in there, especially while just sitting down. And the new kickstand position really goes a long way in doing that. It makes it easier to use. It makes it easier to basically just start typing, using it almost like a laptop. And this really goes a long way in allowing you to use your Surface 2 on your lap. That second layer of the keyboard of the kickstand really is important. As you can see, I'm using Office here, and it's full Office. I can type a document, I can edit a document, create a document. I can do whatever I do on Office with there, which is very important. I can also open up, say, Excel, for instance, and manage spreadsheets, and you know, do all those different things with it, and still have that ability. That's of course on the desktop side, which only handles that on the Surface 2. It doesn't do anything else other than that, and say file management. But it is very nice to see how that functions. As you can see, just looking at some of those spreadsheet cells, it really goes in a long way. Now, of course, the Surface 2 also is a tablet and has some very solid multitasking capabilities. You can see I can work side to side. So I do have the browser on the left, and I do have my Excel sheet on the right, and I can actually just continue working that way. I can go to our favorite website, Booredatwork.com here, and check out what's new on the site, and view that while still working on my spreadsheet. So I can still do that side by side on the Surface 2 because it's powered by Windows 8.1. And you know, it's nice to see that and see that productivity. What's really cool is that you can also cross open links. Say on the left side we had Facebook, and we hit a link, it would open up on the browser on the right hand side. So the multitasking capabilities are there. You can multitask within the start screen, metro side, and of course the desktop side. So you have no limitations there with what you can do with your multitasking capabilities. And you can see with the 1080p display at 10 inches, 5-finger touch 10-inch display, it really goes a long way in allowing you to basically maneuver the screen in different ways, and open up your applications and use all the different apps that you can find on the Surface 2 with ease, without any issues whatsoever. So navigating through is just a very easy process. And of course, with Windows 8.1, you do have your app tray right below, which shows you all the different applications you can use within the device. Which is nice. I think they've done a good job in just making this more user friendly, and that goes a long way. You can see, even open up an application while multitasking, a third application, I can still decide where to place the application while typing my document, bringing Twitter up. So I think they've really complemented how to use the Surface as both a consumption device and a productivity device overall, and that really goes a long way, especially using that keyboard as an additive to make it more functionable, especially the fact that the keyboard has a trackpad. So you do have that similar laptop and mouse feel that allows you to navigate across the way, and you've also got some quick action keys on the keyboard. So of course you can bring up, you can of course increase and reduce, of course, the illumination on the back of the keyboard. You can also open up a different the charm, and also sharing options and things like that are available on Windows 8 through the keyboard. So you do have keyboard shortcuts that are there, and that really brings it together as a whole. And the keyboard, again, as I mentioned earlier, is very, very solid, rigid. It gives you this pseudo laptop experience that you wouldn't expect from a tablet, and I think that's what makes the Surface 2 very different from its predecessors. Now, the battery life you get there is about 10 hours plus. Haven't had issues with it whatsoever, and it's really gone a long way in making it an easy tool for you to work around with, use for either browsing or also doing some work on there. And you do have storage options. As I mentioned, there's 200 gigabytes of SkyDrive storage, which goes a long way to adding more benefits to what you're going to do with this device, and that's for 2 years once you get the Surface 2. You also have Office, which we showed earlier, which is also available for free on the device, the full suite with Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, and Word on there. So let's go ahead and round up our thoughts on the Surface 2 and finish up this review.
Microsoft has added a lot of cool features into the Surface 2, but I think what they've done is actually just made a lot of good fine tuning to this great tablet. I call it a great tablet because it really does two things. I'm one who really doesn't like tablets in the first place, but it really covers a lot of productivity functions, as well as you just being able to use it as a regular tablet. Windows 8.1 does a lot to complement that and allows you to basically add more functionality to what you would do with the Surface. Now the Surface 2 here, of course, weighs 1.5 pounds. It's really not heavy. I mean, it weighs as much as an iPad, really. Not the iPad Air, but it weighs as much as the iPad. And you've got enough storage options in here. Granted, yes, it comes with 32 gigabytes of storage, and that kind of is cut down to about 17 to 18 gigabytes because of Windows. But Microsoft gives you 200 gigabytes of SkyDrive storage, which is easily accessible, and that's something that no one does, and I think is a very, very good additive to the Surface, allowing you to go on the road and basically have your documents with you, or your videos, your files, wherever you go, because you have a large amount of storage. You also do have Office Suite built in there for free, and that adds a full element to it. Now the new Type keyboard and Touch keyboard are great. They really push the productivity aspects of the Surface even further because it's a much more rigid keyboard, it's much more solid, and it really doesn't feel as flimsy as the first generation keyboard. Battery life is great. 10 hours of battery life, 10 hours or more actually, and you basically can use your Surface tablet for quite a long time without any issues whatsoever. I mean, I loved it overall. I love the new kickstand positions. A lot of things it does great, and I really can't complain. The only one point I would mention, again, of course, is just the app availability. Now, that of course is changing. We have Facebook on there, Flipboard is coming, Instagram, things like that are coming to the Surface 2 through Windows 8.1. So that is growing, but you do have a very capable browser with Internet Explorer 11. Yes, I said Internet Explorer. It actually is quite good. So it's a capable browser. It does a lot, and you can still function with this. Multitasking on here is great, best on any other tablet. And I think overall, this is a very solid device. Now, is it worth the purchase at $449? I say yes, because they've packed in a lot of extras to give you a worthwhile price. Besides, its performance and also the features on the device itself, you do have the 200 gigabytes of SkyDrive. You also have Office Suites, and you also do have Skype internet access for free for at least a year. So you do have a lot that's packed in here for that $449 price. And definitely pick up a keyboard when you get your Surface, because it's really, I think it's just essential to the whole flow of the device. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to all our pages on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. It's all Booredatwork with 2 O's. And also, if you're looking for any of our wallpapers or the wallpaper you saw on the Surface 2, check out our Instagram, our Pinterest page, our anime and comic book page. We have our wallpapers there. So this is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy entertainment.